The more young Jables would chase the women he liked, the more they would run from him. He couldn't understand why being nice to them made them want him less. But he would notice that when he withdrew his attention, something strange would happen. These women would want him more. Stick around, cause I need that watch time.
Stop right there, criminal scum!
What you should understand about women is that women are very similar to cats. The more you chase a cat, the further it's going to run away from you. Because certain behaviours will scare cats away. The same way that certain behaviours will scare women away. The first thing that's going to scare a woman away is being needy and insecure. This is possibly the most unattractive trait a man can have. If you are needy, if you are insecure, well, that speaks for itself. You cannot go without her attention for more than 5 seconds, and therefore you find yourself texting her all the time, asking her what she's up to, asking why she hasn't replied to you for 5 seconds. No woman wants to put up with that shit, and the reason why is because you become a burden to her. It is a drain of her energy, and it shows that you're not a very masculine, you're not a very confident man. She wants a leader, a man who is independent of her, who doesn't need a woman but chooses to invite a woman into his life. If a cat likes you, it's going to come up to you. But if you would go up to a cat and you know that cat isn't really bothered about you, and the cat walks away, but you continue to go after that cat is going to get agitated. It's going to start feeling very uncomfortable. You're getting in its personal space and it doesn't want you there. Now I want you to imagine that you go up to a woman who doesn't want you. She's made it perfectly clear she's not interested. If you continue to pursue a woman and she's shown clear disinterest in you, the only thing you're going to do by trying to win her over, trying to win her approval, is push her further away. And you trying to force her to like you, you trying to make her want you more, it's just going to turn her off because you're making her feel bad because she don't want you, and you are showing that you don't have self-respect when you chase a woman that doesn't want you. You might find that cats are often very timid creatures, so when you start acting very erratically, when you start being emotional, for example, if you're throwing shit around, you're getting angry, you're losing control of yourself, that cat's going to get pretty scared. Because the cat's scared, it's going to start getting angry. You go near that cat when you're very emotional, it's going to start clawing at you, it's going to start hissing at you, it's going to probably bite you and scratch you. It's not much different to a woman, because whether you want to admit this to yourself or not, if you're an emotional man, what you are ultimately doing is showing that you don't have control over yourself. You are showing yourself to be a weak man, to be a man who is a potential threat. An emotional man is a loose cannon.
1776!
Does a cat want to be around a person who's a loose cannon? Or is it going to feel safe around a man who's just calm? Is a woman who is naturally feminine, naturally submissive, going to be more likely to let her guard down, to feel safe around a man who is super emotional, who can't control his emotions? Or is she going to feel safe around a man who controls his emotions, who controls his actions? She's going to feel a lot more safer around a man who has control over himself, because when he's got control over himself, he's not a danger to himself, and therefore he's not a danger to her. If you're not at peace with yourself and you can show calmness, you're not able to deal with the fact that she's pulled away from you, this is only going to make things worse for yourself. Imagine you're going after a cat, and because the cat's not giving you attention, because the cat don't want to be around you, you start getting upset, you start getting angry, or you start crying or whatever. That's not going to make the cat want you any more than it already doesn't, because that cat's probably going to think, if I go near him, he's probably going to smother me with unwanted attention, and that's going to stress me out. The same thing can be said for a woman. She don't want unnecessary stress. Can you guys ever think of a time where your lady has pulled away from you and you've not given her the space that she's wanted, and that's made things a hell of a lot worse? Let me know, guys, leave a comment. Now, you might not be aware of this fact, but being overly affectionate with a cat can actually stress it out. If you're there stroking it far too much, giving it all this attention, what this actually does is it stresses the cat out. A cat likes a bit of attention, but when you start giving it too much attention, the cat can actually start getting very uneasy, and sometimes what the cat will do is it'll get aggressive, it'll get angry. If you start showing so much affection to a woman, she'll appreciate your affection if she likes you, but if you're showing her too much affection, you're just constantly trying to cuddle her, constantly trying to kiss her, and you're overdoing it, it's going to get annoying. Now, the chances are, if you're overly affectionate, you are more than likely a man who has a lot of feminine energy inside of him. A feminine woman isn't attracted to a feminine man. There's no polarity there, therefore there's no pull, there's no attraction towards each other. It just becomes a bit of a turn off. The number one rule when it comes to cats is that you've got to let a cat come to you. Don't ever go up to a cat and expect it to like you straight away, because that's probably not going to happen. Don't ever go up to a cat and try to win its approval, because this is not going to make the cat like you. That cat has probably already decided within the first 5 seconds of meeting you whether it wants to be around you or not. And women aren't much different. If she doesn't like you, don't try to make her like you. Don't try to over pursue a woman. You need to give a woman space. You need to give her time. You need to give her opportunity to think about you and miss you. Let her wonder what you're up to, because this is going to build mystery. It's going to build excitement. And believe me, when a woman is chasing a man, she is 10 times more attracted to that man than the man that's chasing her. Women are very good at fantasizing because they're very in touch with their emotional side, and they like to build a picture of a man inside their head. And when she's thinking about him all day long because maybe he's not texting her or maybe he's busy doing something, that woman is getting more and more desire for that man. But if the man's always pursuing, he's always texting her, it's going to get a little boring, innit? So sometimes you just got to give her that space to come to you. You can't force a cat to like you. If the cat doesn't like you, the only way it's ever going to like you is if it changes its mind. Think of it like this. If a woman doesn't want you at first, maybe you're just not a very confident guy, maybe you haven't got much going for yourself, and then maybe you spend the next few months focusing on yourself, kind of forget about the rejection that she gave you, and all of a sudden she's noticed that your value has increased. Now this might pique her interest a little bit, and now she's more inclined to talk to you. She might come up to you and see how you're doing, and only then, in a situation like that, can a woman actually change her feelings towards you. But you should never try to force that interaction. That's the worst thing you can do. The best way to attract a woman is to just be confident and secure in yourself, be masculine, and just be yourself. I know it sounds really fucking corny, but it's true. Be yourself, because the more genuine you are, the more authentic you are, the more natural you're going to be. When things are natural, they just go so much smoother. I run a men's self-improvement group on Facebook. If you'd like to connect with me more personally, click the link in description. Did you know that I have a merch store? Why not dress like a king and support me at the same time? Click the link in description. Most of the things we've covered today are very big weaknesses in a man. If you'd like to know more about male weaknesses, click the video on screen right now. I hope this video is valuable to you. If it was, be sure to leave a like, a comment and subscribe. Hope you enjoyed that video. That's all I'm going to say about that. Oh!